Hey Lakers fans, welcome back. Today we need to dive deep into the ongoing situation with Vanderbilt because it is becoming increasingly perplexing and frustrating. We are at a point in the season where every decision matters, and yet when it comes to Vondo, we're seeing a pattern that doesn't quite make sense. Imagine this scenario. No LeBron James, no Marcus Smart, facing the New Orleans Pelicans in the first game of a back-to-back, and then moving on to play the Phoenix Suns next. If there was ever a time to get Vanderbilt on the court, it would be in a game like this. Even just to ease the load of other players, 10 or 15 minutes could make a huge difference. Instead, we see him barely touch the floor, with Dalton Knecht taking the minutes that could easily have gone to Vanderbilt. Giving him 3 minutes is almost an insult because it is impossible to show anything meaningful in that short span. If the team intends to play him, he deserves at least a few minutes each quarter to build rhythm and confidence. Looking back at the Pelicans game, if both Vanderbilt and Doro had played 15 minutes each, it's not unreasonable to think the outcome might have been different, or at least the team would have been fresher going into the back-to-back. Taking 5 minutes off Reeves, Luka, and Rue would have free enough time for them, and it probably wouldn't have cost the team a game. The Lakers are juggling critical minutes for their top stars, and giving Vanderbilt some court time in these circumstances would make sense strategically. Even with LeBron likely to play the next game, the point remains, why sit Vanderbilt when he is exactly the type of player who can provide defense, athleticism, and energy when the team needs it most? It feels like the decisions are increasingly puzzling, especially considering how many games he has now had as a DNP. There are only a couple of explanations at this point. Either the Lakers are planning to trade him, or they're deliberately keeping him off the court for reasons that are not entirely clear. Perhaps the team is trying to showcase other players like Maxi Kleber or Gabe Vincent to improve trade value. Or maybe it is simply a strategic move to hold Vanderbilt for later. Regardless, from a basketball standpoint, it is difficult to justify the current approach. Vanderbilt addresses so many of the team's needs. His offensive game may be limited, but his rebounding, perimeter defense, and relentless energy are exactly what the Lakers require. Chasing loose balls, contesting plays, and providing grit are essential contributions that the team is missing when he sits. When you look at recent games, it's evident that the coaching staff has experimented with lineups and minutes in ways that seem to avoid using Vanderbilt, even when circumstances clearly call for a skill set. Against the Pelicans, several key players were missing, yet the minutes were still distributed among players like Dalton Knecht rather than giving Vanderbilt a proper opportunity. Knecht played 17 minutes, producing 4 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, and a single block, which is a modest stat line. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt could have contributed more in terms of rebounds, defense, and presence on the court. The irony is that his skill set fits perfectly with the situations the Lakers have encountered recently. They need defensive intensity on the perimeter, athleticism, and energy to complement their stars, and Vanderbilt delivers that consistently. It's also notable that the coaching staff's choices in starting lineups and rotations have mirrored predictions made by analysts, yet they continue to overlook Vanderbilt. Even when it comes to managing minutes and back-to-backs, his role could be flexible enough to make a meaningful impact without overtaxing any one player. The lack of clarity surrounding his status is frustrating for fans who see the value he brings. Perhaps there are internal reasons, like a minor injury or strategic experimentation, but from an external perspective, it looks like a missed opportunity game after game. The combination of talent management and in-game strategy would benefit from a clearer approach with Vanderbilt involved, rather than consistently sidelining him in critical moments. As the team navigates the season, every decision carries weight, especially in back-to-back games or against teams where strategic depth is essential. Vanderbilt has proven in prior games and even in preseason that he can anchor defensive efforts, grab boards, and provide hustle that energizes the team. Yet, we see scenarios where the team opts for other players who, while talented, do not offer the same defensive stability and intensity. This inconsistency raises questions about the Lakers' long-term plans for him, whether in terms of trade potential or as part of their rotation strategy. For fans, It is difficult to reconcile the value he clearly provides with the minutes he is being denied. Even in games where star players are limited or rested, the team seems reluctant to integrate Vanderbilt fully into the rotation. While nurturing young talent and boosting confidence in players like Dalton Connect is understandable, there's a balance to be struck. Minutes could be allocated to allow Vanderbilt to contribute without compromising the development of other players, yet the current pattern appears to prioritize experimentation or other strategic motives over immediate on-court impact. His defensive presence alone could change the dynamics against opponents, especially in high-intensity moments where perimeter defense and rebounding make a tangible difference. The frustration is compounded when considering the potential matchups Vanderbilt could influence. Against certain opponents, he can slow down key players, provide critical help defense, and create turnovers. Yet, the coaching staff seems to pass over these opportunities, raising questions about their evaluation of his role. Even modest minutes in the right situations could result in momentum shifts that benefit the Lakers over the course of a game or series. Fans see a player capable of contributing in meaningful ways consistently sidelined, which makes analyzing these rotations both intriguing and maddening. To summarize, the situation with Jared Vanderbilt continues to be confusing. He is a player who offers defense, athleticism, rebounding, and hustle, all critical aspects for the Lakers' success. His lack of playing time in certain games, even when opportunities are abundant, points to strategic choices that remain opaque to observers. Whether this is related to trade discussions, experimentation with younger players, or other internal decisions, it highlights a disconnect between potential contribution and actual court usage. Fans are left wondering how the team plans to integrate him effectively, and every missed opportunity emphasizes the need for clarity in rotation management moving forward. Continuing from where we left off, it is worth delving further into how the Lakers' handling of Jared Vanderbilt affects not only the rotation, but also the team's overall chemistry. One of the main issues is the uncertainty surrounding minutes allocation, particularly in games that are not technically high stakes, but still important for momentum and rhythm. Vanderbilt has consistently demonstrated that he can contribute in ways that go beyond the stat sheet. His energy, defensive presence, and ability to contest shots are invaluable, yet the coaching staff seems hesitant to deploy him in meaningful stretches. This is especially confusing when you consider that several games have seen the Lakers without key players such as LeBron James or Marcus Smart, creating the perfect opportunity to integrate Vanderbilt into the rotation without overloading other contributors. When analyzing rotations, one can see that minutes often get shifted to players who, while talented, do not provide the same defensive versatility and physical presence as Vanderbilt. This trend raises questions about the team's strategy and priorities. Is the focus purely on developing younger talent, or is there a more complex plan at play that the public does not yet understand? The result is a pattern of minimal playing time that leaves Vanderbilt essentially sidelined, even when he could positively impact the game. Fans and analysts alike have noted that his contributions on the court, rebounding, hustle plays, and defensive coverage are crucial components that the Lakers desperately need, particularly on the perimeter. It is puzzling why these qualities are not being fully leveraged in every situation that allows it. Looking at specific matchups, Vanderbilt's absence becomes even more glaring. Against teams with strong wing players or quick guards, his defensive skill set could neutralize threats, contest drives, and create additional opportunities through fast breaks initiated from defensive stops. Despite this clear value, he is consistently passed over, leaving the team to rely on other players whose defensive impact does not match his. This is particularly evident in games where young players are given extended minutes. While player development is important, there must be a balance between nurturing talent and winning games, especially when veterans like Vanderbilt can provide stability and performance reliability in key moments. Another layer to this discussion is the psychological aspect for both Vanderbilt and the team. A player consistently benched or given minimal minutes can experience declining confidence, and that ripple effect may influence overall team morale. Yet, Vanderbilt has maintained professionalism and readiness. demonstrating that he can be trusted to contribute at any moment. It is the deployment decisions that create frustration, not his ability or effort. This situation highlights a disconnect between talent management and in-game strategy, a disconnect that has caught the attention of fans and analysts alike. The conversation around Vanderbilt is not just about statistics, but about understanding the full spectrum of value a player brings to the team, both tangible and intangible. Considering Vanderbilt's skill set, it is clear he offers more than just defense. His ability to read the game, anticipate passes, and secure rebounds can change the flow of a match. In moments where other players struggle to find consistency, Vanderbilt provides a dependable presence, which is particularly important in back-to-back scenarios where fatigue becomes a factor. His absence in such games is not just a missed opportunity for contribution, but also a missed chance to manage other players' workloads more effectively. Fans often point out that rotating Vanderbilt into these situations could alleviate pressure on key stars, reduce injury risk, and provide the team with more strategic flexibility. Moreover, Vanderbilt's role extends beyond individual stats. It affects team dynamics. His presence on the floor changes how opponents approach certain plays, often requiring adjustments that benefit the Lakers defensively. By minimizing his minutes, the team loses this tactical advantage, and it shifts the burden to other players who may not have the same defensive agility or intensity. This becomes even more critical in tight games or against opponents who rely on perimeter scoring and speed. Vanderbilt's ability to disrupt plays, contest shots, and rebound efficiently makes him a hidden asset that is underutilized under the current rotation strategy. The frustration is compounded when observing game sequences where minutes could have been reallocated efficiently. For example, Dalton Knecht played significant minutes in situations where Vanderbilt could have contributed equally or more effectively. While Knecht may have potential and deserves opportunities to grow, it is difficult to argue against the notion that Vanderbilt's proven skill set would have provided a more immediate and reliable impact. The decision to favor developmental minutes over strategic advantage raises questions about the overall approach to player deployment and game management. Fans continue to debate whether this is a temporary experiment, a sign of future trade considerations, or simply a misalignment in rotation philosophy. Even in matchups where the Lakers have rested key players, Vanderbilt's contributions remain minimal, suggesting a lack of trust or an overarching plan that has not been communicated publicly. Analysts note that his defensive versatility, perimeter coverage, and rebounding ability fill gaps that are otherwise difficult to address with the available roster. It is increasingly clear that games like these, where Vanderbilt could step in, are prime opportunities to showcase his strengths while managing other players' minutes effectively. The continued decision to limit his playtime in these scenarios fuels ongoing debate and speculation among fans and insiders alike. Vanderbilt's value is also contextual within the team's larger goals. The Lakers are in a phase where balancing veteran leadership with youth development is critical, but that balance must also prioritize winning and optimizing on-court performance. Vanderbilt provides the type of impact that complements stars while stabilizing rotations, yet he remains sidelined in situations that seem perfectly suited for his involvement. Whether this is due to trade considerations, experimental rotations, or internal strategic reasons, the result is consistent underutilization that perplexes observers. The discussion extends to fan engagement, as supporters see a player capable of making a difference repeatedly overlooked, prompting questions about communication, transparency, and the decision-making process within the organization. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, a low, persistent buzz has begun to ripple through the league, and it centers on an explosive outburst reportedly attributed to Marcus Smart inside the Los Angeles Lakers facility. According to people close to the situation, none of whom are willing to go on record, the veteran guard is said to have unleashed a blistering tirade that left teammates stunned and staff scrambling to restore some semblance of calm. The phrase echoing through corridors and group chats, "I don't want him here ever again," has become the spark of a firestorm no one in purple and gold expected to face so soon. Those who claim to have witnessed the moment describe a tension that had been simmering for weeks, the kind that crackles under the surface until the slightest spark turns it into something uncontrollable. Whether the conflict stemmed from a practice confrontation, a disagreement over roles, or something more personal remains shrouded in speculation. But one thing is clear. The Lakers suddenly feel like a team balancing on a tightrope, with even minor missteps threatening to unravel whatever chemistry they've been trying to build. Players have reportedly grown cautious, choosing words carefully, dodging questions, and avoiding anything that might further inflame a situation already teetering toward full-blown crisis. Some insiders say Smart's outburst was less about a single teammate and more about frustration with the overall direction of the team. Others insist the comment was aimed squarely at one specific individual, though no one seems ready to reveal who. The uncertainty only amplifies the intrigue and the tension. For now, the Lakers attempt to project normalcy, but behind closed doors the murmurs continue. Front office staff are said to be weighing the potential fallout, evaluating whether this is a minor flare-up or the start of something far more destabilizing. Rumor or not, the episode has cast a long shadow, and league observers are watching closely to see whether this moment becomes a footnote or the first crack in a much larger fracture. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.